Now, from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 5.
Live off the top at 5, the Wink News Sky Cam over downtown Fort Myers. Lots of gray skies now, and the warmer air is back. Wink News is the Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Jim Farrell tracking those warmer temperatures for us.
I'm sure you've noticed it is not as cool or as cold now as it was even yesterday. 7 degrees warmer now than yesterday at this time. We're back in the 70s finally, 74 degrees outside now, and it gets even warmer as we work our way through the week. But first up this evening, if you're going to be out, it'll stay cloudy. It should remain dry, but temperatures are back into the mild category of 70s, and they will stay there for several hours this evening. Looking ahead, finally, temperatures are going to be above average, 10 degrees above average by later in the week. I'll tell you more on what to expect for afternoon temperatures when I come back.
Tears, tears, tears. Just why? The main question everybody want to know is why.
A breaking Wink News exclusive at 5, an arrest in a murder case. And now the victim's family wants to know why their son was gunned down. Fort Myers police arrested 25-year-old Frank Brown today. He's accused of killing Teddy Bell. Bell was gunned down outside his family's home last August. Only Wink News reporter Chris Grisby talked to the loved ones he leaves behind.
I was like, wow, I can't believe this.
A family is relieved knowing an accused killer is off our streets.
Sounds like you might have some bigger fish to fry.
Moments after being let go for contempt of court charges, the Fort Myers Police Department slapped 5 charges against Frank Brown Jr., including the murder of Theodore Bell III. Bell was shot and killed footsteps from his father's home in August.
Don't cry now. You said you happy. Don't cry.
And as detectives broke news of the charges to the family, a sense of gratitude hit each member one by one.
Now my baby can probably finally rest in peace. I can rest in peace a little bit. Not quite there yet, but you know, his dad, all of us, you know, it's just the whole family is just as pathetic.
Still, they must live with the fact that nothing will ever bring back the beloved father of these 2 children.
If anybody take the time out and look at these kids, they suffering the most. We have babies that just break down crying saying they miss Teddy with the dreads. We're gonna get through this.
Reporting in Fort Myers, Chris Grisby, Wink News Now.
Brown also faces second-degree murder and weapons charges. He is due in court February 12th. Breaking new details just released about a Southwest Florida doctor accused of sexually assaulting his patients. In the last 90 minutes, the sheriff's office released its arrest report on Dr. Asif Choudhury. We're now hearing that it's not the first time he has faced these allegations. His co-workers accused him of assaulting more than a dozen unconscious female patients in 2012. He's also accused of touching at least 2 more this year at Riverwalk Endoscopy Center. Choudhury claimed the acts were part of his colonoscopy technique, but other medical professionals haven't bought that. He bonded out of jail this weekend.
Also breaking at 5 o'clock, a dry cleaning business cleaned out by a vehicle. Just this afternoon, a car drove right into the storefront. This is in the plaza near the intersection of Summerlin Road at Winkler. Wink News reporter Nicole Valdez live on the scene now. And Nicole, the car is out of the building now.
Yeah, Chris, you can see that behind me. Crews finally able to remove that car from inside the building, and you can also see the path it took, driving straight through those bushes and right through the front door. And then again, you can see inside there, it's now pretty much destroyed, but it's not just the cleaners that are now cleaning up this mess. This blue BMW made it all the way into the hair salon next door. We went inside before crews got that car out, and you can see right there, it's lodged between the wall of each of those 2 businesses. Now, employees tell me they were inside that salon working on customers when they heard a huge bang. They saw their stations and mirrors fly off the walls, and that car stopped just inches away from some of them.
I don't think she should have been driving, and she was driving maybe way too fast for that to happen. She could have killed all of us.
And business owners here are now trying to clean up the mess. You can see people arriving here behind me and taking photos for their insurance as well. We still haven't gotten any updates on the driver's condition, but we have heard at least 2 people inside the salon were taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Live in Lee County tonight, I'm Nicole Valdez, Wink News Now.
Right now, a man who once protected you is standing trial for molesting 2 girls. The trial of former Naples police officer Ricardo Vasquez Jr. started today. Victims took the stand to testify. Wait News reporter Olivia Mancino is live inside the Collier County Courthouse with the details. Olivia.
Well, Lois, court just wrapped up for the day after 2 pretty lengthy interviews of the 2 victims in this case. Now, the defendant, 39-year-old Ricardo Vasquez, is a former Naples police officer. We dug deeper into his background and learned he eventually resigned from the department after being disciplined multiple times. Report shows he was frequently late to work. He even crashed his patrol car into a cyclist. Now, he's accused of lewd and lascivious molestation of 2 girls, one just 10 years old, the other between 12 and 16. The defense argues there's not enough evidence against Vasquez.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you're listening to the evidence for the next few days, I also ask you to be mindful of all the evidence that you're not hearing, the evidence that you're not seeing. And if you do that, I'm confident that at the end of this trial, you'll find there is reasonable doubt and find Ricky Vasquez not guilty.
Now, of course, the state argues there is indeed enough evidence, citing that they found some pornography on his personal computer. We should also mention that these charges were brought against him after he resigned from the Naples Police Department. We're live from the Collier County Courthouse. Olivia Mancino, Wink News Now.
Olivia, thank you. Right now, a bank robber on the run after a morning heist. Take a look. Cape Coral investigators say this man held up the Bank of the Ozarks near Pine Island Road, right off of Hancock Bridge Parkway. It happened about 10 o'clock this morning. Police say the bank robber took off in a blue 4-door Dodge pickup. He claimed to have a gun, but he didn't show it, and we're glad to tell you nobody was hurt.
2 people are recovering after a shooting in Fort Myers. Only Wink News was there as detectives took a gun into evidence. It happened along Maple Avenue near a condo complex between Royal Palm and Central Avenues. Fort Myers police spent hours going door to door speaking with neighbors. They say there is no danger to the public, but they have not made any arrests. New video, thieves prey on a family moving into a new home. Surveillance from Crime Stoppers shows the crooks inside the North Naples home last month. Look at opening drawers, just rifling through whatever they can find. They rummage through the new homeowner's belongings, stealing whatever they could get their hands on. Investigators say at least one of the men was armed with a handgun. If you recognize them, call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-780-TIPS.
Decisions you make today could save your life in a future crash. After a weekend of canal crashes, the Collier County Sheriff's Office shared this video. It shows ways to escape your submerged car when your family's inside and you're stuck in the water. This comes on the heels of a mother and 2 children dying after their car crashed in Immokalee. Wink News reporter Hannah Vogel live in Collier County now with some tips that we should all keep in mind. Hannah.
The crash over the weekend is a reminder for all of us here in Southwest Florida, and local responders want to get this message across. Drivers do have the power to stop a scary situation from turning deadly.
Think about being in the water. That's never happened.
No. A mother and 2 of her children died when they crashed into a retention pond over the weekend. And this is a scenario everyone wants to avoid, sitting in a sinking car with less than a minute to act before you're underwater.
It's going to be scary, you know.
But local responders say there are ways to prevent the situation altogether.
A lot of the cases that we see are people making poor choices, talking on the cell phone, doing things that they shouldn't be doing while they're driving.
It starts with following the basic rules of the road, because if you're distracted,
it just takes a second to veer off.
Plus, with the miles of canals in our area, responders say paying attention is crucial.
Having awareness and knowing your surroundings is key.
But what do you do if it's a little too late and your car plunges into the water? Coming up, I'll share a 911 call from last week where the police tell me what the woman did right. But for now, reporting live here in Naples, Hannah Vogel, Wink News Now.
All right, Hannah, thank you. And there are important tips that you can keep in mind to make sure your family survives a crash. We have them all in the Wink News app, posted right under this story.
We have some breaking news for you coming out of Massachusetts right now. This is live in Lynn, which is just outside of Boston. You can see the flames coming out of that building. Firefighters battling this in a multi-family building. Crews from multiple towns in that area are responding to try to get this fire under control. It is unclear at this time how that fire started. A powerful speech fuels rumors of a presidential run.
A new day is on the horizon.
Oprah Winfrey's speech at the Golden Globes has people wondering if she will use it as a springboard for a presidential run in 2020. Two of her close friends tell CNN that she is actively thinking about it. In the past, she's denied interest in running.
Let's get you live now to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, the site of the National College Football Championship, just hours away from now. As we speak, take a live look at all the folks getting in there. President Trump is on his way there. And President Trump is hailing the Republican tax overhaul law during a pitch to rural America at a meeting of the American Farm Bureau Federation. The president just finished a speech in Nashville. He says tax cuts and the doubling of the threshold for the estate tax will help farmers. The president also generated applause with his calls for the American flag and the national anthem to be respected. He's been very vocal about professional athletes kneeling during the anthem. We'll let you know what happens when he attends the College Football National Championship game tonight. And the president is ending special protections for 200,000 immigrants from El Salvador. Now nearly 200,000 people could face deportation. El Salvador is the fourth country whose citizens have lost temporary protected status under President Trump. Officials say Salvadorans will have until September of next year to leave the United States or adjust their legal status. The president plans to visit prototypes for his proposed border wall. Officials say he plans to head to San Diego sometime after his State of the Union address. He was supposed to visit them this week originally. That trip was pushed back because of his appearance at the College Football Championship game tonight.
New information, a move to prevent tragedies at baseball games. The Twins just announced they are extending safety netting at Hammond Stadium. Team says they will replace and improve netting behind home plate. They will also extend it all the way to third base and first base. This comes after multiple fans have been hit by foul balls in recent years. Birth control takes center stage, a new law that could force health insurance companies to front the costs.
Plus a glimpse at the future, how gadgets are getting smarter and how TVs will change. All new just ahead.
And constant construction coming to an end, when you can expect smooth sailing on one of Lee County's most popular roads after the break.
With warmer temperatures comes foggier mornings. I'll tell you which ones should be the foggiest when Wink News continues.
I think it's fabulous.
Be glad that it's over.
An end is in sight. Today is the beginning of the end of the construction on McGregor Boulevard. Crews are starting to pave the road and add the finishing touches. Wink News reporter Taylor Basaki in the Wink News Live Drive right now. Taylor, crews have to work overnight, but you're stuck in traffic. So how do people feel about all of this?
That's correct. I mean, driving down McGregor, it's now normal to expect heavy traffic, detours, and kind of construction areas just like this. During our 4 newscasts, we waited at a standstill for 20 minutes before we even hit the thick of construction. Right now, it's rush hour, and take a look at the roads. You can see how the lanes are now ripped up, and paving begins tonight.
It's inconvenient.
Oh, everything that went on McGregor went right by this street, which normally gets 4 cars a day. It had bumper-to-bumper traffic.
It's been a long road to the finish line, but the end is near. McGregor Boulevard construction is now in its final stage. Crews are ripping up the boulevard to make it smoother for drivers. They've already replaced storm drain pipes along the busy road.
Be glad that it's over.
Many of us are happy the project is almost done after dealing with new issues from construction.
You have people going up and down the streets real fast, taking the shortcuts.
And after waiting in this traffic for months, people are ready to see the work wrap up.
We are going into season, so traffic doubles or triples over here, and it's not going to be good. It was bad enough when it was off season. Now we're going into season, so traffic can be horrendous on McGregor anyway.
Now the work will extend overnight. Crews will resurface the main line and side streets from Colonial Boulevard to Manuals Drive by day and then pave them by night. Neighbors say they're just anxious to see things back to normal.
I don't mind the overnight hours. I'm looking forward to getting done.
Now, 1-lane alternating traffic and detours will continue. We can expect this final phase of the project to wrap up next week. Live in Fort Myers, Taylor Basaki, Wink News now.
All right, Taylor, that'll make a lot of people happy. Thank you. 11 miles of roads will be under construction at the same time now. The state says State Road 80 from Dalton Lane to County Road 833 in Hendry County will undergo a few different projects starting tomorrow. You can expect to see single-lane traffic at times there. The project includes building new bridges, paving, and electrical work. It's all expected to be done by 2020.
New this hour, a wild foot chase ends in an arrest at the airport. The Lee County Sheriff's Office arrested 27-year-old David Gary at Southwest Florida International Airport this weekend. Deputies arrived at the rental car area on a fraud call. During questioning, deputies say Gary was argumentative. He slipped out of custody when deputies tried to handcuff him. Gary ran into the baggage terminal area where deputies tackled him. He faces resisting arrest and drug charges. Do you recognize these people? Crime Stoppers say they are wanted in connection to a theft. It happened at the Circle K on Bayline Drive in North Fort Myers. If you do, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS. You can remain anonymous.
There's a steep price tag to clean up the damage left by Hurricane Irma. Cape Coral says clearing debris and other emergency expenses is expected to cost more than $17.5 million. So far, the city has paid a little more than $6 million. City Council will need to vote on another $4 million held in other funds right now. That still leaves $7 million unaccounted for, which the city says it hopes they get from FEMA.
New tonight, gaining courage by the second. Southwest Florida's favorite eaglets left the nest. They're wandering to the edges of the nest. Look at it. Look at them trying to put their wings out, trying to venture out for the first time. They did it this weekend. Harriet's eaglets hatched in North Fort Myers just before the new year. So let's get you live to the nest right now. Oh, they're all just taking a little break right now, just chilling in the late afternoon. Harriet and M15 are taking turns finding food for these growing birds.
While they nap.
Yes, while they nap. It's nice to be a baby.
Well, warming trend has kicked in, as I am sure you have noticed. Temperatures this week are going to be running 15 to 20 degrees warmer than last week. So if you have any plans to take you outside this evening, plan on temperatures in the 70s, and that's more like it, more like the average temperature for that hour, that group of hours for this time of the year. In fact, we're in the 70s now. Temperatures are as cool as Palmdale and Sebring 71, Arcadia 71. Warm spots include Marco Island at 75 degrees, while on the Cape, you're 73, humidity 72%. Not much wind around. On the Cape, it's calm. We have an east-southeast breeze at 9 miles per hour. Naples and 74 degrees, humidity 68%. So humidity comes up with the temperature this week. It will be a little more humid. Cloudy, though, all day long. There you have it. Mostly cloudy sky at the Village on Venetian Bay, but haven't seen any rain on radar in the afternoon hour, so it's been very dry despite clouds. There's the view from Punta Rassa looking at Fort Myers Beach in the distance under obviously overcast conditions. All right, Future Track says stays cloudy this evening and overnight tonight. Tomorrow's going to be another cloudy day. We start off at 7 a.m. with some clouds. Underneath the clouds, there'll be some hazy weather conditions due to light wind and high relative humidity. It's not going to be a lot of rain tomorrow, but there could be a couple of showers developing. Here's 4 o'clock as we go hour by hour on Future Track, and you can see isolated rain indicated by our Future Track forecast model. Dry overnight, and then as we get into the morning hours on Wednesday, a little better chance for some fog to redevelop across the area. So a cloudy start tomorrow, hazy in spots, a mix of some 50s to near 60 degrees for low temperatures early in the morning. Certainly a far cry from the 30s we had just a few mornings ago. 78 degrees, the high temperature tomorrow. Wednesday, I mentioned the fog. 78 will be the high in the afternoon. An even better chance of fog on Thursday. Now that looks like fog, low clouds, and there you have it. 7 a.m. on Thursday, the best chance of fog this week. And we'll won't call for any fog on Friday as it becomes breezier and warm at 79 degrees. Sunshine this weekend, Sunday cooler than Saturday.
All right, Jim, thanks. Let's go back live to that breaking news in Massachusetts, right outside Boston in Lynn, Massachusetts. And you can see this huge fire has taken over the roof of this home right now. This is a multi-family building. Crews from towns all over the area are there. We don't know at this point how the fire started. No injuries reported at this point, but they're having a hard time getting it under control, so we'll keep watching it. Still ahead on Wink News at 5, fighting those annoying robocalls. They're hard to avoid even if you're on the Do Not Call registry. We take a look at the other steps you can take to dodge the harassment.
Plus, a new lifesaver gets the green light. All new at 5:30, the technology that helps diagnose severe stroke. New right now, we're getting a glimpse of the future at CES in Las Vegas. The annual technology conference, gadgets are getting smarter. TV screens are bending and robots are everywhere. But as CNET's Kara Suboy reports, the tech industry is also grappling with its past.
Ordinary things like wine openers, luggage, and mirrors are getting high-tech upgrades designed to make your life easier. At CES in Las Vegas, the biggest trend in consumer electronics this year is built-in digital assistants like Alexa.
You can just talk in a room that has smart light bulbs and not worry about having an extra speaker.
More voice controls are coming to cars as automakers enhance self-driving features and turn the dashboard into a movie screen. TV screens are getting bigger and bendier.
We've already heard about a large 65-inch rolling display from LG, so you just roll it up like a map.
There's a focus on health tech from babies to seniors. Hip Air are like airbags for your hips. An accelerometer and gyroscope in the belt detect when you're falling and trigger the CO2 canister. You don't have to carry this carry-on luggage. When paired with a high-tech wristband, it follows you using sensors and cameras. While CES showcases futuristic tech, conference organizers are being criticized for being behind in terms of diversity. Originally, the keynote lineup was all male, prompting a backlash online.
Ahead, President Trump is headed to the college football championship tonight. Just ahead, why the NAACP wants every fan in the stadium to wave white towels. Plus,
we're not good enough, Lee County residents, to take advantage of our own backyard.
New at 6, a hotel turns away a family at check-in. Wink News investigates why. All new tonight.
Wink News, now back with breaking news.
Breaking the last 15 minutes, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team of investigators has expressed interest in speaking with President Trump. It's part of a probe into potential coordination between Russia and the Trump campaign. No details are set yet, including a date for any potential interview and what questions would be asked. Both the White House and Mueller's team did not comment on this new development.
Live now to Atlanta, the site of the College National Championship game tonight. The president is expected to be there for the game. The NAACP is asking fans to show up with white towels to send a message to the president. They say they want all the fans to wave white towels, simulating a blizzard. It's meant to mock the snowflake insult Trump supporters have made against those who oppose the president. Several protests are expected outside the stadium. There's a long history of presidents attending college games. Both Presidents Obama and George H.W. Bush attended Army-Navy games. Jimmy Carter was the last president to go to a bowl game back in 1981.
Fighting with Fire and Fury, the author of a book criticizing the president says his book is 100% true. Michael Wolff released the book on Friday. Wink News anchor Amanda Hall is here now with a look at Wolff's defense.
Wolff appeared on CBS this morning and said he stands by his work. Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House paints a picture of a president who doesn't read important documents. It also claims some people question whether he's even fit to serve. The president fired back this weekend, calling the book a work of fiction. He insists he never met Wolff. Wolff was less definitive when asked whether he interviewed the president.
I think he probably had no idea he was speaking to me for this book. When I would meet the president in the White House, we would chat as though we were friends. I'm sure he didn't think they were interviews. And in all fairness, he might say, I was not being interviewed.
Steve Bannon, the president's former chief strategist, is now walking back some of his quotes. He says his comments about the meeting at Trump Tower being treason were taken out of context. Bannon also insists there was no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Chris, back to you.
All right, Amanda, thank you. Vice President Mike Pence is traveling to the Middle East now. He'll visit Egypt, Jordan, and Israel this month. He postponed this trip in December following President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The White House says Vice President Pence will travel January 19th through the 23rd.
Back live now to that breaking news in Massachusetts. We have been watching this massive fire in Lynn for the entire newscast. This is just outside of Boston. New in the last 5 minutes, fire crews say at least one person suffered burns in this fire. Firefighters are battling flames in this multi-family building. Crews from multiple towns are responding. Unclear how the fire started at this point. And we just told you, we just learned about that first injury from those flames.
New information now about a new effort to keep you safe in airports. A year after a deadly shooting spree, a Florida representative filed a bill that addresses the communication, coordination, and training issues that all major airports face. The bill would expand the Airport Transportation Security's programs administered by TSA. Last January, Esteban Santiago shot and killed 5 people in the baggage claim area at Fort Lauderdale Airport.
A Florida senator is behind a new bill to require your health insurance to provide coverage for birth control without charging you. It would also require insurance companies and HMOs provide follow-up services to remove birth control devices. The bill, supported by Democratic State Senator Lauren Book of Plantation, would provide an exemption for religious employers. In October, the Trump administration rolled back a mandate that women would have access to birth control without additional costs. A national fraternity was just banned from Pennsylvania for 10 years after this man's death. 19-year-old Chun Michael Bend died in a hazing death back in 2013 at Baruch College. Today, Pi Delta Psi was ordered to pay a $110,000 fine. 4 New York City men were also sentenced in Deng's death. And this ruling comes on the heels of another hazing death investigation. Investigators say that Timothy Piazza here died from excessive drinking at Penn State. A grand jury just ruled Penn State could have taken steps to prevent Piazza's death. And in December, a grand jury recommended criminal charges in the death of a Florida State University student. Authorities say Andrew Coffey died on campus because of a hazing incident involving alcohol.
2017 was the costliest year ever for weather and climate disasters in the U.S. From hurricanes to fires and tornadoes, destructive hailstorms. NOAA says 2017 had $306 billion in damage. 2005 saw $215 billion in disasters. Last year's disasters included a string of hurricanes that pounded, one including our area, Irma here, August and September for most of them. Irma caused devastation all across our area. Some are still recovering even 4 months later. There were also these devastating wildfires out west in Southern California that just left neighborhoods scorched. 2017 ties with 2011 for the most U.S. billion-dollar disasters in a single year.
Children are welcome back from winter break to the reopened Robinson Elementary School in Houston. Hurricane Harvey badly damaged the school in August. The Houston Independent School District tweeted about school repairs, saying the Robinson building underwent major interior renovations. Most of the school was submerged in at least 4 feet of water.
Generator requirements are front and center for nursing homes in Florida. The governor issued an emergency order to require nursing homes to have enough fuel and AC to keep patients cool through power outages. The Florida Healthcare Association says while the governor's intentions are right, the homes will need financial help to get those requirements done.
In the end, we believe that the governor's intent is correct. Nursing homes should have a cooled area of refuge in every nursing home to take care of their residents, period. Our hope is that we can work, the governor and us together, and get to a place on the rule and resolve this through the rulemaking process.
The Florida Healthcare Association will also ask lawmakers for more money to care for Medicaid-funded residents.
Governor Rick Scott will deliver his final State of the State speech. Tomorrow's speech is expected to focus on tax cuts and jobs. Governor Scott has already announced his plans to seek $180 million in tax cuts to help you. And that's something he's sure to remind voters about if he runs for the U.S. Senate. New right now, Britain's Princess Charlotte is starting preschool. Her mother, Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, took these pictures today. Monday is her first day at private nursery school in West London. Charlotte will turn 3 in May. Prince William and Kate are expecting their 3rd child in April. Families who fought fire are now dealing with water. What people who just returned home from wildfires have to prepare to fight this week.
And a new way to diagnose stroke. Brand new technology that will help you get life-saving treatment quicker.
Here's Future Track for tomorrow, indicating fewer clouds by the afternoon in a few neighborhoods, but a chance for a couple of showers too. Details are next.
New tonight, a new device that can quickly diagnose cases of severe stroke. The FDA just approved it. Wait News anchor Bob Urzik is live in the studio to explain how this new tech could help doctors save lives.
That's right. It's called the CerebroTech Visor. And the goal of the technology is to help quickly identify patients who've had severe stroke so they can receive immediate treatment. The device transmits low-power radio waves through the brain looking for changes in blood flow. It's fast, too, taking just 30 seconds to analyze fluids. Hospitals are testing the technology and has already saved countless lives. One victim even says he wouldn't be around anymore if he went to any other hospital.
The type of stroke that I had, a lot of times the patient doesn't survive, So, I'm lucky.
Time is brain. As someone's having a stroke, they're losing many, many neurons every second. And so anytime we can decrease from that is very important.
Stroke's a leading cause of disability in the U.S., according to the American Stroke Association. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Bob, thank you. More than just weather wreaked havoc on one of the nation's busiest airports. Look at all of the water here. A pipe broke and flooded an entire terminal area at JFK in New York. The Port Authority now says the pipe was not weather protected. This is the latest in a trio of incidents that's leading to a major investigation there. The snow on Thursday and two planes clipping each other in the terminal area, also a big problem. Passenger frustration was high from the weekend right into this morning.
It's ridiculous. I just want to go home.
I am so angry. Words can't even express how I feel right now.
We want a refund. We want to be compensated.
It could take days before piles of luggage at JFK are returned to the rightful owners. The Port Authority admits there was a breakdown. New York Senator Chuck Schumer, who you just saw at the podium there, is calling for a thorough review of what went wrong.
A scary scene to start the day at Trump Tower. An air conditioning system caught fire. That's what's causing all that smoke. Crews surrounded the New York skyscraper as smoke billowed from that roof. One firefighter was hurt putting out the fire. No word yet on the extent of the damage. The president's son, Eric, tweeted his thanks, though, to firefighters. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie believes he would be the commander-in-chief right now if President Trump didn't run. The Republican reflected on the hotly contested race in an interview just released. He acknowledged that the Bridgegate scandal hurt his campaign and said he asked then-candidate Trump to stop attacking him with accusations about the controversy. Christie leaves office January 16th.
It's your money and stocks finished mixed today. The S&P was on track for its first down day of the year, but then rebounded late on the back of some tech stocks. The Dow dropped about 12 points, almost 13, but it's still over the 25,000 mark. The S&P added 4.5, and the NASDAQ added about 20. Backlash from this controversial ad. Clothing store H&M is apologizing for using a black child to model this shirt that says, "Coolest monkey in the jungle." The company removed the ad after hundreds of social media users called it racist. The Stockholm-based clothing giant apologized to anyone that the ad offended. The fight to end robocalls seems endless. We have some tips to help you win it right after weather.
A big difference this week compared to last. Last week, sunny, cool. Cold in the morning now, warmer and cloudy. But there is no rain showing up on Doppler radars. We look at the Sanibel Causeway at this hour where it's pretty good. Mild 72 degrees, relative humidity 64%, not much wind. Westerly at 3 miles per hour now near the causeway. And around downtown Fort Myers, similar setup, cloudy sky, no rain falling from the clouds, 74 degrees. Downtown Fort Myers, 66% relative humidity, and the breeze is light at 6 miles per hour right now. This is it, 15 to 20 degrees warmer this week compared to last, when high temperatures actually exceed the average of 74 degrees each and every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday until the weekend. Another cold front will approach, and temperatures will drop off a bit on Saturday, even more on Sunday. In the meantime, Future Track is showing cloudy weather continuing through the morning hours. Chance for an isolated shower in the afternoon. There's not going to be a lot of rain around tomorrow. And we might even see a few breaks in the sky with some sunshine coming through, so potentially a little brighter here and there. But where it is cloudy, there could be an isolated rain shower during the day tomorrow. Temperatures around the rest of the country have moderated quite a bit. Take a look at this. Above freezing temperatures over most of the continental United States, even wind chill factors staying above 0. So this is starting off to be a much warmer week this week. not only in southwest Florida, but across the board. Boaters tomorrow, I mentioned light wind. It will be out of the southwest on average, 5 to 10 knots, 2 or less offshore out to 20 miles. Smooth in the morning, smooth in spots in the afternoon, a light chop in others, and the Gulf water temperature still running a little cool at 59 degrees. All right, it'll be cool in the morning in a few spots. 58 degrees Arcadia, Lake Placid, and LaBelle. 60s closer to the coast with mostly cloudy sky. Mostly cloudy in the afternoon. Certainly warm again with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And then there's a chance for a few foggy areas starting on Wednesday morning. Thursday, fog in the morning, then 79 degrees in the afternoon. Friday's looking like a breezier day with a high temperature of 79 degrees. We'll see a little more sunshine on Friday and the chance for an isolated shower or two as we work our way into the weekend. Saturday's bacon jam should be mild 71 degrees, sunnier on Sunday.
All right, thank you, Jim. You can expect McGregor Boulevard to be backed up for the next 2 weeks. How far along they are in the construction project? Ahead at 6.
We're going to get back to breaking news right now out of Massachusetts. A live look at this huge fire just outside of Boston in Lynn. In the last few minutes, crews say the roof has started to collapse there. You can see some parts where it looks like it's already gone. Fire crews say at least one person has suffered some burns. We don't know how bad those burns are. Now, we've been watching this fire during the entire newscast. It broke out just after 4 o'clock. We've learned it's a 12,000 square foot building. It's a multi-family building, and it was built in 1860.
Ready for distractions. Florida Gulf Coast University says they are on standby in case anything happens for the start of tomorrow's white racism class. The course has caused controversy due to its name and what the class will cover. The professor told Wink News he plans to highlight systemic racial inequality.
A Wink News call for action alert on an expanding recall linked to multiple deaths. Japanese airbag maker Takata is recalling another 3.3 million faulty airbag inflators. The latest recalls cover frontal airbags in certain 2009, 2010, and 2013 vehicles. Takata airbags can explode with too much force, hurling shrapnel into drivers and passengers. At least 20 people have died worldwide. More than 180 were hurt. This is the largest automotive recall in U.S. history. Right now, cars with those dangerous airbags are still on Southwest Florida streets. On Friday, Wink News told you a local man is still waiting on a replacement after more than a year. He told us his dealer keeps putting off the fix, telling him to not drive with passengers. You can see if your car is affected. We've posted the recall for you with all the information you need on the Wink News app. We've also put some tips up there to help you get your car fixed as soon as possible. More than 500 manatees found dead in Florida waters last year. Florida wildlife officials say it's the third highest annual death toll on record. Experts say the number wasn't unexpected because of the growing population. Statewide, 106 manatees died due to watercraft collisions. They are a protected species.
You may have a hard time getting IV treatments at your local hospital. An increase in flu cases is creating a nationwide IV shortage. It's forcing hospitals to use more time-consuming ways to administer drugs, and it's stopping procedures and clinical trials. The availability of saline IV bags plummeted because a major manufacturer in Puerto Rico was affected during Hurricane Maria. Fewer people are dying from cancer. The American Cancer Society said more than 2 million lives were saved over the last 2 decades. That's thanks to better cancer detection and treatments. Since 1991, the amount of deaths have dropped 26%.
In tonight's security alert, robocalls. They're annoying and sometimes they're just non-stop. So how do you fight back? Wink News Call for Action reporter Michelle Kingston has some advice.
Well, our security experts say there are a number of ways you can avoid robocalls. First, don't answer a number you don't recognize. Second, sign up for the national and state do not call lists. But if you do this and the calls keep coming, you have some more options.
Your phone carrier to do what's called a trap. And what they'll do is that once that phone number comes in, they'll actually go back and trace it to find out where the originating call is coming from, and then they'll try to do a block or whatever they're going to do on their end. With the trap, though, you will have to keep a log of the frequency of the calls, usually for about a 2-week period, and most of the time the phone companies will not charge you a fee for this.
Another option besides a trap, call your phone carrier and ask for a trace. With this, you can dial *57 as soon as you hang up on a robocall, and it's reported back to your phone company. No matter what, though, call your provider first to see what option is available and best for you. I'm Call for Action reporter Michelle Kingston, Wink News Now.
All right, Michelle, thanks. And if you have a consumer problem, Wink News can help. You can reach us 24/7 online at winknews.com. Just click on the Call for Action link and submit your complaint there. Or give us a call, 800-795-9465. Remember to leave us a daytime telephone number.
New information, more people are working at breweries in America. According to Spotlight on Statistics, from 2006 to 2016, breweries accounted for more than half of the unemployment growth in the beverage manufacturing business. Now, as breweries begin to take up a larger share of the business, soft drink and ice manufacturing shares are declining. It's a performance for dinosaur fans everywhere. A Tyrannosaurus Rex conducting Jurassic Park's theme song. And of course, cameras were rolling to catch the whole thing. A woman shared this video on Twitter. The conductor, dressed in a T-Rex costume, led the Colorado Symphony Orchestra. This was recorded last year, but it was posted recently with the release of the new movie's trailer. And it's now trending on Twitter.
It takes enough talent to do that anyway, much less.
And with short arms.
With short little arms,
Arms, yeah.
Very good.
Well, they just returned home, and now they may leave again.
What families who just lived through historic wildfires have to run from next.
Now, they've just recovered from historic wildfires, and now they have to prepare for potential rain. California is bracing for flash flooding as the first winter storm of the season moves through. Wink News reporter Danielle Nottingham visited areas where they are just returning home from evacuations, only to be told they might have to leave again.
Paula Howe went on a search for sandbags, anticipating a deluge in her Ventura neighborhood.
The debris flow will be coming down the street, and so we're just kind of putting an extra berm so it doesn't end up in the front yard.
Her house, like so many others, sits below a steep hillside, now baked and barren by the worst fire in California's history. The vegetation is gone, so there is nothing to hold back the mud. Most of these folks evacuated during the December wildfire, and now thousands of people in Southern California have been ordered out again. Forecasters say this first winter storm will bring substantial amounts of rain, anywhere from 2 to 5 inches today and tomorrow, the heaviest downfall coming tomorrow morning. Here in Los Angeles, about an inch of rain is forecast. That's the most rain we've seen here in nearly a year. Some cities are stacking 2-ton cement blocks and clearing out a debris basin for runoff. But for many residents, sandbags are their only real defense.
We filled up 250 sandbags in the last couple of days, so we're kind of prepared. All the neighbors kind of help each other out.
These neighbors stayed put through the fires, and they say they'll do the same again. Danielle Nottingham, Wink News Now.
All new at 6, brand new 911 calls as a mother saves her baby after their car dives into the water. What she did that saved both their lives.
And coming up.